Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Florida.
Get your plate ready. The big dogs are here to eat. Big G, Marcel, and JB are mashing right now. Lefty Matt Moore draws the start for the Gigantes. The Marlins take aim at a former Ray. It's late night with the fish from San Francisco. Last stop of the first half, and what a great place to stop. San Francisco, the Marlins and the Giants, AT Park. It's the first of 3 weekend series, the Marlins and the Giants. Hi everybody, Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. And for the Marlins and for Don Mattingly, the emphasis is finish strong, finish this first half. 3 games here in San Francisco, get to the break, and then see what happens.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. This Giants team has struggled this year. They've been playing a little bit better baseball lately and certainly a little bit better at home, but a good opportunity. They match up well against this team. Let's remember, the Marlins have not won a series on the road since April, and this is a ripe opportunity to get that done.
Marlins had some good moments in St. Louis, but split that 4-game series. And in San Francisco, heck, in California, Giancarlo Stanton has had some big, big games.
Well, you see the numbers. This is in California. 74 games. How about this? 24 home runs. He's got 6 home runs against the Giants in this ballpark in his career. So he feels good on the West Coast, which lines up well for the Marlins right now. This offense is clicking on all cylinders. He's been swinging the bat an awful lot better. So good time to get him in there and hopefully get him going.
Now, he doesn't have the same sample size, but against the Giants and in this ballpark, Dan Straley's had success, and Straley gets his last start of the first half.
Yeah, and it's an important one, as we've talked about, wanting to finish strong this first half. For Dan Straley, he's had an incredible first half when it comes to the numbers, and you see some of them right there. Those are his ranks in the National League, but he's got personal bests all over the place right now if he were to end his season today. So it really is just an example of how good he has been in this first half and how important this start is today. We say it a lot, length. You need a long start from him.
Matt Moore was a terrific Ray. In fact, he was an all-star, had a 17-win season. But right now, he's searching for it as a Giant.
Yeah, he certainly is. Not even getting a whole lot of run support from the Giants. So, in fact, they're not playing well behind him. He is not throwing the ball particularly well. Not a whole lot of good signs. The long ball's been an issue. Left-handed hitters are absolutely hitting him so hard right now, up near 400. So, this, again, is a good opportunity for this Marlins offense to roll against a struggling starter.
Matt Moore and the Giants, Dan Straley and the Fish. San Francisco, ready to go, kids. Late night with the Fish, the Marlins, and the Giants. By Jeep. By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And by Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Absolutely gorgeous weather in the San Francisco Bay Area. Marlins very fortunate to be here right now for this weekend series that starts late night with the Fish on a Friday night in AT&T. Southwest brings you the lineups. Marlins lineup looks this way. D. Gordon in the top spot. Giancarlo Stanton slotted second. Christian Yelich. Marcelo Ozuna hits cleanup. Justin Bour fifth. Martin Prado sixth. JT Realmuto in the seventh spot. JT Riddle. The JTs are hitting seventh and eighth. And Dan Straley hits ninth. And they face a lefty in Matt Moore.
Matt Moore, 6'3", 210 pounds, 28 years old. Let's give you the Auto Nation scouting report on Matt Moore. He's had a nightmare of a first half, no doubt about it. Nobody in baseball saw this coming. 3-8 with a 5.78 ERA, 17 starts. Has allowed the highest OPS in the National League at 875, 51 extra base hits. Now, safe at home, certainly has been a little bit better at AT&T Park. 3.77 ERA here, but the last three not so good, up near 6. And nothing stands out. When you look at his arsenal, fastball, cutter, knuckle, curve, and that changeup, all 4 pitches have been average to below average here in the first half. So he's trying to get his season back online and trying to use this start to jumpstart his second half.
You could use those same words to describe both teams here in 2017 as we approach the All-Star break. And Matt Moore's first pitch is outside. This ball game underway. D. Gordon, Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich. 72 degrees. You don't get many nights like that here in San Francisco. 7:15 starts.
Actually a little bit warm. I'm sure it'll probably cool off a little tonight. The sun works its way down.
Gordon slaps that one foul. And they count 1-2. D checks in a 291 average. Had a really nice series in St. Louis. 7 hits in 18 at bats. Coming off a 2-hit 3-run ball game yesterday afternoon.
Picked up his 31st stolen base.
Breaking ball, ground ball to his left is Panic, and he flips, safe. Belt trying to get back to the bag. Gordon got there first. Any hesitation with D. Gordon racing down the line. That's a base hit.
Breaking ball, D. Gordon just puts the bat on the ball in play with 2 strikes, and then the speed takes over down the line. Belt had trouble getting back to the bag. He gets there a little quicker. They probably get him, but D faster than the baseball on that play.
Gordon 31 stolen bases. Here's Stanton now against Moore. We showed you Giancarlo's numbers in California. And whether it's Seattle, San Francisco, Oakland, Anaheim, Los Angeles, or San Diego, he's enjoyed success in all those spots.
Well, he likes to hit against Matt Moore as well. 4 for 10 in his career. He's got some good numbers. Into the game yesterday, had a pinch hit appearance, had the rest of the game off.
3 infielders on the third base side with Panic almost right behind the bag. Moore's not an easy guy to steal off of. He's given up 5 stolen bases, and he has 2 pickoffs this year. Stanton takes a fastball on the outside part. The ball and a strike. 23 homers. He's driven in 54. Stanton had an off day yesterday, and of course his last start on Wednesday, 2 homers in the first 2 innings of the game. And he sends one to right and hits it pretty well. Pence going back out to the wall, gone opposite field. Giancarlo gives Miami a 2-0 lead. It kept going and got right out of here.
You do not see that often. As long as this ballpark has been open, see a right-handed hitter go to right up over the wall, over the Levi's landing. My goodness. Off-speed pitch, top of the zone, hanging up there. Easy pitch to drive the other way. Stays back and does just that.
Yelich sends that one third base side foul. Here's the swing.
Well, think back to the day he broke out in St. Louis. Was having a rough road trip. A lot of action to right field. He was thinking to right field right there. Got elevation, stayed through it, level swing. And that is impressive.
Yeah, Wednesday he had the solo homer and the 3-run homer in the first 2 innings. He did not start in yesterday's game. Did have a pinch hit appearance. But a 2-run homer opens the night and the series. Yelich in the air to left center. Span and Slater are there. And the veteran Denard Span makes the catch. So what were we saying about Stanton in California?
I personally believe it was kind of coming. We saw him really start to heat up in St. Louis.
Little In-N-Out burger and away he goes. How about that? Here's the Giants defensively tonight.
Here you go. Slater gets the start in left field. Denard Span in center. Hunter Pence has been doing this for a while over in right field. Wong is the third baseman. Crawford, Panic, Belt, and Posey. Got more on the mound.
Marcell Ozuna, starting left fielder for the National League in Tuesday night's All-Star game. The game on Fox and, of course, at Marlins Park. And he takes outside. Ozuna on Thursday, of course, yesterday, got into a nice routine, and that was get to the plate with D. Gordon in scoring position and knock him in. 3 different singles, and 3 times it was Gordon who scored.
Riding a 7-game hitting streak right now. Pretty well locked in. You see from Matt Moore, the fastball, the knuckle curve, does throw the cutter and the changeup, but most of his pitches appear already in this ball game to be relatively flat, up in the zone. That breaking ball at the top of the zone as well.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ozuna's road trip, 364 clip, 3 homers, 2 doubles. Fouls that one back, and it appears as if he's still using Stanton's bat.
I'm not sure that's a story anymore, Rich. It doesn't matter what he takes up there.
He hit with his own bats today.
Well, whether it's his bat or Stanton's or Ichiro's or
Bonds,
whatever. Does it really matter?
He's hit homers with 4 different models this year. Fastball is up, and the count runs to 3-2. Three-two for Moore. Ozuna fights it off.
You look at Matt Moore's numbers across the first half. There's really nothing to land on to say to get this moving in the right direction. Even maybe his cut fastball being his best pitch or his most effective pitch has just been okay. His whip has gone up. Last year 129, this year 162.
Ozuna stays alive and fouls it back, which is odd because Matt Moore last year finished his year with one of the best postseason starts, not authored by Madison Bumgarner in recent times for the Giants. And were it not for the Giants bullpen that melted down in Game 4 of the division series, Moore would be remembered for that start. And heck, the Giants may have beaten the Cubs. That one fouled at the plate. And Ozuna limping around. That was that Game 4 start here, and he was incredible. 8 innings, 2 hits, a run, and the Giants bullpen could not protect the lead. That one right down the leg, it looked like.
Let's hope it got the shin guard. Well, maybe a little bit of both. And when you do that, I know this. I know that feeling. I broke my leg doing that. Of course, I didn't have a shin guard on, so hopefully that took the brunt of the blow.
Can you break it twice?
I did.
Ouch. 3-2. Foul back. the Giants bullpen in that game 4, if they protect that lead, and Moore was brilliant, the series goes back to Chicago, and Bumgarner and Cueto are both available.
Oh, you can look at different endings, and I mean, you can see baseball that way in that scope, and rewrite the story a lot of times. And you're right.
That one fouled back to the screen. Marcell Ozuna,
not a big fan of AT.
Must be a Verizon customer. Because he's blasted that AT&T sign.
He has. Well, it's essentially the same pitch. He's trying to look at the dents. He's trying to. Moore continues to throw 92-mile-an-hour fastball low and away, and Ozuna continues to foul it off the sign.
That sign had full bars before the at-bat. Into center, Span is there, and he makes the catch. And that brings up Justin Bour. Moriarty, New Mexico. That's where Matt Moore is from. Bour approaches. The other big leaguer from Moriarty High School, and that's about 20 miles out of Albuquerque, Kyle Blanks, the big slugger in the Padres system.
Well, he had some power.
Whew. Bour goes after the first pitch, and he fouls it back. Bour yesterday an 0 for 4, but he homered in St. Louis. Little jam shot, shoots it foul. It's a good day for Bour because one of his college teammates is here. Here to see him play and here to pitch tomorrow. And that's Chris O'Grady, who's called up from New Orleans. They are both products of George Mason University. 0-2. Bour, a ground ball, and with the shift, that's going to get into center field. There he is. That's the lefty. O'Grady was starting in New Orleans. Marlins need a starter tomorrow, and he'll make his major league debut.
Nice young man. Had the privilege to meet him just a little while ago. Eyes are really wide open right now, taking it all in. It's always a great day. That first time you step into the big league stadium.
And I think it's nice that he's able to get here, soak it all in, watch the Giants, and then go after them tomorrow night. Prado, a letter high strike. He was a freshman when Bour was a senior. His brother, his older brother, very good friends with Justin.
He gave a lot of credit to his older brother as far as his career is concerned, and a lot of the direction, a lot of things he wanted to be in life, and he attributed to his older brother.
Bour's at first.
Yeah, pretty good place to make your major league debut.
Without a question. And you know, if you're a pitcher, it's a good place to make your major league debut. It's a good pitcher's park. 27 pitches already for Matt Moore. Prado up the middle. That's into center field. Martin, who led all of baseball against lefties last year. Couple singles, and now JT Realmuto to the plate.
Fourth hit this inning for the Marlins, putting together good at bats. Other than D. Gordon leading off the game and pulling a breaking ball, 2 base hits to center field, and Giancarlo Stanton's home run to right field. So nice approach. Well, 2 strike swings in there as well. But it also it points out Matt Moore's struggles to put away hitters.
Realmuto, a very solid road trip. 10 for 27, had 2 hits in his last 2 at bats last night. Got Bour at second, Prado at first. This is a very slow infield. It's tailored to the middle infield for the Giants in Crawford and Panic, who don't have a lot of range and foot speed. Realmuto. Pitch number 30 coming from Matt Moore. Giants were in Detroit facing the Tigers. Of course, the Marlins came from St. Louis. Both teams got here right around the same time yesterday evening.
Lost 2 out of 3 in Detroit, but did sweep in Pittsburgh. So called it a successful road trip. It was.
Lined into center field. That's a base hit. Big Justin Bour around third. He's held, and the throw is cut. Bags are loaded.
A fantastic road trip continues for JT. Fastball almost letter high. Nice swing. Level through the zone. Watch this. It's a textbook swing on an elevated fastball. Maybe hit just a little too hard to send the big guy. Kennard Span does not have a great arm in center field. You can run on him.
Well, it's going to be JT Riddle now against Moore.
And we noticed here in San Francisco, this is one of the outfields that you can, as an outfielder, really charge the baseball because it's not cross-cut. You see there Denard able to accelerate through the ball. Most ballparks anymore, you can't do that. You have to proceed with caution because of the cross-cut. Enjoyable conversation with Perry Hill earlier in today's ball game about this, but in San Francisco, this is the one ballpark you have to be very, very careful. Their outfielders, and as can the Marlins, really accelerate through a ball in front of them.
Perry Hill down at first. JT Riddle at the plate. Riddle lines at center field. That's a hit. Bour will score. Prado will score. Realmuto to third. And it's a 4-run first for Miami.
Absolute Marlins clinic right now on how to hit elevated pitches. Using the middle of the field again. 4 consecutive base hits to center field. Breaking ball. Doesn't get it up. Excuse me, doesn't get it down. It is up. You see it as it bottoms out just above the knees.
Here is Straley, and he fouls it back. So not only have the Marlins put 4 on the board, but they have taxed Matt Moore's pitch count. This will be number 35 here in the first inning.
It's not walks, it's hits. He's given up 6 of them this inning.
And the Giants bullpen, which is just down that third base line, has a little bit of activity.
For Matt Moore, this first half can't end fast enough.
Corey Guerin is on his way down into the bullpen. Straley takes a breaking ball, strike 3 called. Matt Moore gives up 4. And it starts with Giancarlo. A blast to right, and Miami is up 4-0. has quieted a large crowd here in San Francisco. And now the Giants will trot out this lineup. Bruce Bochy put pen to paper. Southwest presents it. Denard Span in the leadoff spot. Joe Panik is at second. Hunter Pence in the 3 spot. Buster Posey having an incredible year. He's in the cleanup spot. Brandon Belt. Jae Hyung Hwang is at third base.
Well done.
Brandon Crawford, Andy Slater, and Matt Moore.
Got it. Nailed it.
I worked on it all day.
Yes, you did.
Austin Slater, by the way.
There you go. Dan Straley making his 18th start, as I said, in the open. What a first half he has had. Outstanding stuff. He's got so many categories that he's dominating, setting personal highs in the first half. So you see the numbers going for his 7th win of the season, 3.51 ERA, creeping up on 100 strikeouts. I think with 6 tonight, he would reach 100 in the first half. Really exemplifies how good he's been. Last 4 outings, 2-0 with a 2.31 ERA. And his career against the Giants, oh, by the way, 2.25. Hasn't lost to him. Really good matchup for him.
Denard Span, Joe Panik, Hunter Pence for the Giants, who are 34 and 53 right now. And a strike to Span.
Span's been swinging the bat pretty well of late. 361 with 9 runs scored in his last 9 games. The Giants have been playing better baseball, 7-2 over their last 9. It has been a rough first half. 34 and 53 on the season. They've had 6 losing streaks, 6 of 4 games or more.
And I guess the question is this just a dip, or has this team gotten old, and is the sun setting on this run of 3 World Series titles?
Well, the answer in the first half lies in that there are individual performances that you would say, okay, that's good stuff. Like Buster Posey, for example. He's had a very good half. He's going to the All-Star game, good numbers. But when you add it all up, the numbers just aren't strong enough to say that this team is going to get it figured out. I think that most of the reports out right now are either they're going to sell everybody, it's going to be a fire sale, or do they think they can actually rebound? But just isn't enough evidence for the rebound.
Well, and the hard thing, if you're thinking rebound and you're a Giants fan, the top of the West is heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy with the Dodgers, who seem to walk off on everybody. Heavy with the Diamondbacks, who have overachieved. They're 52 and 34. And heavy with the Rockies, who had a great start and are still 12 games over.
Yeah. Fewest home runs in baseball for the San Francisco Giants. They don't walk a lot. They don't strike out a lot either. Scored the 3rd fewest runs, averaging under 4 runs a ball game. Team ERA is in the middle of the pack. Defensively, they're pretty decent. But you touched on it when we were talking about the cut of the grass. You can kind of create that, that euphoria where you're at to make it better. Their foot speed doesn't line up the same way as some other teams do, but they are good defensively when you look at the numbers. The range is a little bit different.
They were the best in baseball defensively in terms of number of errors last year. They made just 72.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at. But you're absolutely right, because you look at how the grass, I mean, again, this is kind of getting range factor involved.
Well, Span right now is chewing up Straley's pitch count to start this ball game. Fights off another one. He's gone 7 pitches deep into this at bat. Span, a Tampa guy. Catholic high school, was an all-state wide receiver. He's had a nice run in the big leagues. 5 years with the Twins, 3 years with the Nationals, his 2nd with the Giants. And he just won't go away.
Appears to be a theme tonight, or at least in the first inning. Both these teams, Marcell Ozuna and Span. Souvenirs.
Not Souvenir City.
No.
But City by the Bay. Wind is actually blowing out to right a bit. But that can change over the course of an inning or two. And now it's a 9-pitch at bat for Denard Span. This was not the type of night when Mark Twain came to town. Wasn't he the guy that said the coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco? 75 degrees first pitch. And the weather.
Well, there was no fog last night. I think we were all anticipating, that usually that marine layer that's around about 10, 11 o'clock at night. It wasn't there. Actually, very pleasant.
D. Gordon hops up, makes the play. Took a while. 11 pitches. But Straley finally gets Denard Span.
D. Gordon makes that play as well as anybody in the game. Let's take a look at the Marlins defensively after that 10-pitch at bat. Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton. Boys, it have been a good first half for these guys. Prado, Riddle, D. Gordon, Justin Bour. He's in the home run derby. That's right. JT Realmuto and Dan Straley's on the mound.
Joe Panik. And he takes a strike. Panik trying to bounce back after an off season last year. He had the great 2015. Was an all-star that year. Liner. Foul.
Well, he has been lately. 352 over his last 22 ball games, so really swinging it. One of those pieces that Bruce Bochy use him in a lot of different roles. Like JT Realmuto, you see the comparisons. You can put him in the 2-hole. You can put him a little bit farther down in the lineup. He has been swinging the bat pretty well of late. And you see him up in the 2-hole tonight.
Panik. New York guy, St. John's, and really jumped into the national spotlight in that 2014 World Series. That great double play he started in Game 7. The Giants beat the Kansas City Royals. That one fouled back.
Well, Dan's doing a very good job. Straley is making pitches on the edges, and that's certainly what he wants to be doing. He's been locked in the first half very much this way. The Giants are actually doing a pretty good job of just spoiling these pitches. Remember, as I said, they don't walk a lot and they don't strike out a lot, and it certainly explains what we've seen so far.
Off-speed pitch, laced down the line, off the wall, and Panik's in there with a double. That one hung up a bit, and Panik punished it.
Well, the more pitches somebody has to throw in an inning, the probability of the mistake grows. This breaking ball up in the zone. Dan Straley at times had some issues in the first inning as he settles down. That's his changeup. He was trying to get that to bottom out below the knees. Stayed up for Panik. See that level swing through the zone. Short hops the right field wall.
Hunter Pence now.
They're really hoping he starts to get going. Has driven in 10 runs over his last 6 ball games. This being an opportunity to do just that again. Only 25 RBIs in his first 60 games.
Got him to pop it up. Gordon ventures out. Stanton in. Yelich calling, and it's Yelich who makes the catch. And that'll bring Posey to the plate. Posey's numbers, you see the 326 average, slugging over 500, on base over 400 at 408.
He's been struggling a little bit of late. I don't necessarily trust that when I say it. Posey's that good a hitter. Just as quickly as you drop he's 0 for his last 10, or he went 0 for 10 in the Detroit series, you'll say, hey, he can still get it done.
Highest OPS among catchers in Major League Baseball in the National League. Number 1 is Buster Posey. Number 2 is JT Realmuto. And it's Posey by a bunch at 923. Look out. Posey's bat. into the seats, and it hit a gentleman there. The Giants do not have the nets behind the dugout. We saw that in St. Louis, and it a couple times saved bats from going into the seats. But this one flew right in.
Well, for Dan Straley, that's the effect he's looking for on the changeup. Buster Posey really did everything to get extended there and try to get to that changeup, and ended up losing his top hand and the bat.
Straley with a breaking ball. Posey takes it, and it's 1-2.
Slider and changeup have been such weapons for Straley here in the first half. 178 batting average against his slider, 203 against the changeup.
1-2. Posey up the middle. Straley kicked at it. Gordon has it, whips it to first in time to get the out. Took a while, 23 pitches for Straley, but he keeps the Giants off the board. Entertaining first inning. Let's go to the second. It's 4-0. Giants actually still have their sellout streak intact, although that probably you would expect in the second half of the season may teeter a bit, especially if this ball club continues to win at this clip. Gordon shoots one to left. That's a base hit. D. Gordon singled in the first. Matt Moore is getting knocked around right now. Tomorrow night, Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Miami, and it's the Electric Run. You can run, you can dance, you can party through downtown Miami. It's the first ever Electric Run, All-Star 5K, and it's presented by Nike. Exciting night run. It's tomorrow night, Saturday night, and a post-event concert featuring Little John in Bayfront Park. Stanton homered to right. Shift on the infield is over towards left. He fouls that pitch back.
Well, he's attacking the outside corner once again. Well, Matt Moore, watching the ball game through one inning, plus elevation's the issue. You're seeing fastballs, changeups, curveballs, all above the knees, flat into the zone, starting actually out higher and working their way down. Explains the 5.82 ERA he has in the first inning. Well, guess what?
Stanton out to center. Span is there.
Second inning ERA is not much better. 8.47 on the season.
Here's Yelich now. We'll see maybe if Gordon is on the move. Hope you had a chance to watch Marlins live tonight from our brand new studios, Fox Sports Florida studios. Yelich punches one into left field. Another hit for the Fish. They're 8th already. Jessica Blaylock was out at the opening ceremonies of Fan Fest. That's very cool.
Piece of hitting by Christian. And fastball at the thighs, elevated, not much movement horizontally. Stayed right through it. Good hip rotation. Really nice swing.
Ozuna fly ball out in the first. Jessica Blaylock will be all over the place for the next 5 days. Ozuna lifts it in the air. Brandon Belt into foul territory. And it's into the seats. I'm thinking Jessica, FanFest. I'm thinking electric run. I'm thinking Zumba. Futures game. Celebrity softball. Workout day. Home run derby. And then, of course, Tuesday, the red carpet. And the All-Star game on Tuesday nights. And a lot of parties, a lot of festivities in and around Miami. And it all started today with the opening ceremonies of FanFest. I think I saw a photo of Jeff Conine and Tony Perez with a pair of those big scissors cutting the ribbon.
Feels appropriate.
All-Star ambassadors. Ozuna pops that one up out in the shallow center. Panic and Span. You want ambassadors? We've got ambassadors. Jeff Conine, Tony Perez. Niner, of course, was the All-Star Game MVP. And Tony Perez was an All-Star Game MVP back in 1967. Justin Bour singled in the first. Good speed out there. Gordon at second, Yelich at first. Moore trying to catch the corner. It's 1-0.
Eight base hits for the Marlins. Five by the lefties.
Bour knocks it into the seats. Of course, Bour is in the home run derby Monday night. He finished last in the final vote. Major League Baseball today did name 7 All-Star replacements. Only one in the National League, though, and that's Alex Wood. Sounds like he replaces Clayton Kershaw. So Wood of the Dodgers is on. 6 from the American League. Check swing did not go. Chris Archer of the Rays, Robinson Cano of Seattle, Chris Davinsky of the Astros, Brandon Kintzler of the Twins, and Roberto Ozuna of the Blue Jays, and Justin Upton of the Tigers. All added to the American League. Wood to the National League. Bour pops that one up. Posey trying to track it, and it ends up out of his reach. If you want a comprehensive report on that, go to MLB.com and you'll find our Jeff Nelson featured in the report. And that's also on the MLB at Bat app under the news segment. Now he's everywhere. Last time I saw him, he was in St. Louis.
24 hours ago.
And he's in the studio, and now he's on my computer. In the dirt. So Bour's hung in there, and the count's full now, 3-2, and that gives a couple of fast runners a head start. Yelich at first, Gordon at second. A 4-run first for Miami. And a mountain of pitches already for Moore. This is number 49.
And Justin Bour is so good in these situations right here.
Bour lines it right center. That's a hit. Here comes Gordon. He'll score. Here comes Yelich. He'll be held at third. Second hit for Bour. Fifth run for Miami. Prado is coming up, and we'll see if the Giants bullpen gets back up.
Breaking ball, high to low, gets to the bottom of the zone, but easy for Justin Bour to track. Starts out at his waist. Gets that weight out on his front foot just a little bit, but kept his hands back nicely on that breaking ball. Drives it in the right center field and picks up another RBI.
At the corners, Prado singled back in the first. 9 hits already. Moore has recorded 5 outs. Miami has 9 hits.
Oh, yeah. Well, the only outs he can get really are fly balls to center field. He's got 4 of those already.
The one strikeout was of Dan Straley.
And Justin Bour told me before the game, I was down around the cage, how he was struggling to see the ball. Well, I don't believe you.
Once the sun sets a bit,
well, I told him that it's what was going on. It was they were taking batting practice and the sun was going down over the top of the stadium, but he wasn't having maybe his best batting practice. He could tell he was maybe a little frustrated, and he was saying, I'm having a hard time seeing the baseball, but not now. They just flip the switch and the lights come on here.
Yeah, this is the new LED lights that are the rage right now around Major League Baseball. A lot of ballparks have added them. Prado rolls it up the middle. Crawford is there. Underhands to Panic. And Miami settles for another run. Justin Bour knocks it in. It's 5-0. Team up with Homes for Our Troops, building mortgage-free, specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is rebuilding lives and visit foxsportsupports.com. Brandon Belt lifts one down the third baseline. Long run that falls for a hit. Prado picks it up. Belt's on his way to second. He is out. Gordon with the tag. Great throw by Prado. Belt trying to stretch it. Yeah, the Marlins get it out at second base.
Ill-advised go by Belt. Down 5-0. It's jammed. accelerates about halfway down the first baseline and then says, you know what, that's no man's land. I should be on second base. Well, Martin Prado, watch Martin regroup here and fire a strike into second base. Right on the money. D. Gordon, nice job getting the glove down quick. First out of the inning.
Just got him.
And he'll go back and look at that and realize he probably would have been safe had he run out of the box.
Here is Hwang, the 30-year-old Korean who has been a great player in KBO, a Korean baseball organization, playing for such colorful teams as the Hyundai Unicorns, the Woori Heroes. Bohr circles it, makes the catch, and the Lotte Giants.
He's making his 7th start tonight for the Giants at third base.
Here's Crawford now. Crawford, one of the Giants that is having a down year offensively, a first half that he'd like to forget.
With 6 hits in his last 54 at bats.
I think if track record is anything, he's got more hits in that bat. And you can see last season where he was. 2 seasons ago, Crawford slugged .462, had 33 doubles and 21 homers. He slugged .430 last year. He fouls that one back.
Brandon Crawford can hit. He's proven it throughout his career. He'll find his stroke. It's just he's going through a spell. This whole team in a lot of ways is going through a spell. Sometimes you pitch well, you don't hit enough. You hit enough, you don't pitch well. Then you factor in the bullpen and a couple hitters who are slumping along the way, and you find yourself with a dismal first half. You can almost see the deliberate shoulder-to-shoulder swing from Crawford right now. You can see it in his eyes, even in his approach, how deliberate his swing is. Until he's got things he's figuring out in his mind. It's not that free and easy Brandon Crawford that we're so used to seeing.
Of course, Crawford, a spectacular defensive player. He's won the last 2 Gold Gloves at shortstop. For Miami, it's a good combination. Early runs and Dan Straley. Straley has pitched well against the Giants. Bohr off the bag, hustles over, and Straley is through 2. On to the 3rd, 5-0. Fish.
They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
That's a late night with a fish disclaimer. Terry has the extra gusto when it's late night with the fish. JT Realmuto's up.
Extra authoritative.
We have to be. That's why I was replaced.
Is that when all the disclaiming goes on? Is late night with the fish?
Quite frankly, that's why I was replaced on the disclaimer. Was
you weren't authoritative enough.
Not authoritative. No one feared me.
Good read. That is well said.
Nobody feared me. People were disseminating
all over the place
in the streets.
That's correct.
Reproducing, retransmitting.
All sorts of piracy going on.
We put an end to that. We hired Terry, and everything's in order now. Realmuto banged a single to center in the first, and he's got another one. Tell you what, the Marlins are all over Matt Moore.
And so many of his pitches are splitting the plate, first of all, and again up. It's a horrible formula for a pitcher. See that pitch right there? Buster Posey was looking to get that down and away, low and away, but it's thigh high and working its way back out over the plate. In order to pitch from the thighs up, you better be bringing it.
Riddle fouled it back. JT an important hit in the first. Stanton hit a blast to right, a two-run homer, and then after two are out, Bohr, Prado, Realmuto singled to load the bases, and Moore was just a pitch away from getting out of the inning. Riddle cranked one into center to knock in two. Swings and misses there. Moore was an all-star in 2013. And his best season was 17-4 with a 3.29 ERA. The next year, though, Tommy John surgery. 6 years with the Rays, an ERA of under 4. But with the Giants, in a year and a half, an ERA of over 5.
Well, when the trade went down, so many people around the game of baseball thought this is going to be fantastic. He's going to San Francisco. His numbers have been solid. But he really needed to establish himself coming off the injury. He hadn't accumulated a lot of innings of a bigger body of work. So now healthy, many people thought San Francisco is a great landing spot. Matt Moore, his arsenal and his game. I mean, it's so surprising. I mean, you understand struggles, and a lot of times you'll see guys, well, all right, it's not working out. Maybe that ERA creeps into the 4s. He's got an ERA near 6.
Panic, Crawford. And the Giants get a double play.
Matt Moore staying to the inside part of the plate on JT. This one, it's in on him with just a bit with 2 strikes. Taylor made double play. We could bring up Dan Straley.
Straley struck out back in the first, the only strikeout that Moore has recorded. Miami has 5 runs on 10 hits. That's off of Moore's glove. Crawford has to redirect, and he still gets him. With the pitcher running, it gave him a few extra seconds, and he needed it. Makes a really nice play. They have one out in center field here in San Francisco, indigenous to the San Francisco Bay Area and this Bay Area coastline as well. It's out in center field. A Toyota Fan Fest, little diamond there. They got the mini brick wall just like the Levi Landing in right field, 1,500 gallons.
Looks like somebody hit a batting practice ball in there. Well, maybe not.
Very cool.
It's a long way out there. That is really cool.
5-0 Miami on top, bottom 3 here. Dan Straley gets Austin Slater, Matt Moore, and then Denard Span. And Straley throws a strike. A lot of games are already done in baseball. Nationals needed 10 innings to beat Atlanta 5-4. That was after last night's long rain delay where it barely rained, drawing the ire of the Braves and national fans in D.C. Braves ended up winning that ball game. Nationals win tonight. And Slater sends it out into center. Yelich is there to make the catch. Cardinals at home. Remember, we told you the Mets were already in town the night before the Marlins series ended in St. Louis. So the Mets had their laundry done that morning while the Marlins were in the clubhouse. And it worked. The Mets beat the Cardinals 6-5. Jacob deGrom is now 9-3 with the win. Cubs beat Pittsburgh 6-1 after getting trounced yesterday by Milwaukee.
Chris Bryant had a big day.
Flirted with a cycle.
Settled for a home run, I believe, his last at bat. He's missing the double, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, he had a triple. Teammates kidded him he should have stopped.
Could you imagine? It's a home run his last at bat and refuses to leave second base. I want the cycle.
2 homers. Well, it was on the homer that they told him to stop at second.
Well, right. It was his last at bat of the day where he needed the double.
All-Star Fan Fest. You can join your favorite players for the Marlins 97 and 2003 championship teams on July 10th, including Moises Alou, Jeff Conine, at the Major League Baseball All-Star Fan Fest for clinics, photos, autographs, and a lot more. Attendees will have a chance to win tickets to the T-Mobile Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game, which is presented by MasterCard. For tickets and for more information, visit allstargame.com. Denard Span opened the night for the Giants with an 11-pitch at bat. And he figures he'll go quietly this time. 1 pitch, pop up, Riddles there. Makes the catch. Straley cruises through the third. Giancarlo is coming up. Already a homer on the night. Your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Last 5 games, the Bats are alive and kicking.
That's undeniable. See the numbers? They've been scoring runs at a great clip. Left 17 guys on base yesterday. Not really harping on the fact that they didn't score runs. It's just that they're continuing to get guys on base. That's also a good 4 for 17 with runners in scoring position. 17 opportunities.
D. Gordon continues a great road trip. 2 base hits here, and he lines that one to left. Slater is there, and he makes a running catch. In case you're late to the party, you missed something that doesn't happen very often here, as Todd Hollinsworth pointed out.
Well, home runs to right field, elevated, hanging changeup, up and away to right. Well, if anybody can do it, Giancarlo Stanton can do it, and he did it his first time up.
Since 2015, entering tonight, only 2 right-handed hitters have homered to right field in this ballpark. Hunter Pence and Kelby Tomlinson. And that was all the way back in 2015. The last visiting player to do it here was Josh Harrison. That ball, right field and deep, off the top of the wall. Stanton turns first, arrives at second. He nearly did it for the 2nd time tonight, and it's only been done twice in the last 2.5 years.
Somebody's going to do it. It's going to be Giancarlo Stanton, 17th double of the season. How about the approach? The eyes. I tell you all the time, the eyes don't lie. Right down the barrel, that's where the game plan is. He's looking away and going away right now.
Off the eye in Levi's landing.
Well, he's trying to dot it.
Very good. Yelich now. And a pitch misses in. Matt Moore still in there. He had 2 majorly stressful innings in the first and the second. High pitch count, 69th pitch, with 1 out here in the 4th.
For manager Bruce Bochy, he has seen this before from Matt Moore. He's not hoping for, well, I mean, of course he's certainly hoping for him to keep things in check at 5-0. Maybe I should say he's not necessarily expecting it. He needs the length. He needs those additional 30+ pitches so that his bullpen isn't set up here in a bad position over the next 2 ball games.
Yelich rolls it up the middle. Panic backhands it, whips it to first. Yelich is called out. Marlins will look at the replay. That's bang bang. Yelich is not going to the dugout yet. From the look of it in real time, he looked safe, but when it's bang bang, sometimes the eyes can lie. Yelich is back in the dugout, and that's a sign that he thinks he's out. And he is. Oh, wait a minute. From that view, you couldn't see the ball go in the glove. And the Marlins are actually going to challenge this. We'll try to get a better view. This is from next door, the Giants at NBC Bay Area. Foot is down. He's safe. Maybe Yelly was just thirsty and he wanted to go back to the dugout, get something to drink, because he was safe enough to hang out at first base.
It was an emphatic punch out though at first base too. That would have probably discouraged me. He did, you know, it wasn't one of these right here. It was a hi-ya.
That's the thing about the replay center in New York. You get views from both telecasts. The Giants had that super slow-mo pointed at first.
Rich, I want all my hits back.
You want them on super slow-mo?
Yeah, I want them. I want them all back. There you go.
Tom Hallion is the crew chief.
Many times I would run past first base, that call would happen, and you'd be like, well, that's that.
Stanton ends up at third. Yelich gets the hit. It's his second of the ball game.
Taken out off the scoreboard. There you go.
And I don't think Bruce Bochy wants more to face another hitter, let alone Marcell Ozuna. Corey Guerin is going to come into the ball game.
That was quick. He's been up a few different times in today's ball game.
Bruce Bochy is a Florida native. He knows this is a Florida lottery. Call to the bullpen. The Florida lottery with a top prize of $5,000 a week, every week for the rest of your life. The longer you live, the more you keep winning. That's Winfinity. Must be 18 or older to play, and play responsibly. Corey Guerin into the ball game for the Giants.
35th time. He's been throwing the ball very well lately. Last 17 appearances, 2.05 ERA, 189 opponent's batting average against. Only giving up the 1 home run, keeps the ball down in the zone.
A dozen hits against Matt Moore, goes 3 1/3. Ozuna with runners at the corners. Guerin quick to the plate, and an off-speed pitch for a strike.
And first pitch slider. Marcell Ozuna looking to be aggressive. Think back to the last game. One we talked about yesterday, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, was very aggressive early in the count with runners in scoring position. Ozuna once again looking to be that way.
Chopper over the middle, brings Crawford towards the bag. Panic's turn is in time, and Guerin gets that double play. Miami leaves a runner, but leads the ball game 5-0. here in San Francisco. If you can't catch the games on television, don't worry, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Florida and Marlins baseball with you wherever you go. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. Dan Straley gets a letter high strike on a fastball to Joe Panic. Hunter Pence, Buster Posey for the Giants in the fourth. Stanton charges in. And there's one out here in the fourth. Miami raced to a 4-0 lead in the first, added one in the second. They've chased Matt Moore. Straley, meanwhile, gave up a double to Panic in the first, a single to Brandon Belt in the second, but that's it.
Straley doing a very nice job using those secondary pitches, as he usually does. Number of pop-ups in the ball game already.
Hunter Pence takes a strike. 34 is Pence now. 6th year as a Giant. A big part of 2 world championships, 12 and 14. Kind of an emotional leader in those World Series. This was a guy that was used to playing every game, and now that has been a challenge the last 2 years. And Pence, one of those guys that has always played the game hard, has thrown his body around a lot. In 13 and 14, he did not miss a game. But 106 games last year and just 52 2 years ago. Smacks that one to right. Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. And here comes Posey. South Florida Honda dealers get you ready for tomorrow and Marlins Live. Craig Minervini, Jeff Nelson in our brand new refurbished Fox Sports Florida studios. Countdown to All-Star Week. Jessica Blaylock is everywhere. All-Star down in Miami. Giants and Marlins after that. Busy day out there in right for Stanton. You'll watch that one get into the seats. Gordon giving chase.
The Giants continue to attack Dan Straley early in the count. He continues to make borderline pitches, which is good. That's where you want to be. Out over the middle. A few elevated, a few down off-speed pitches. Slider. These Giant hitters out on their front foot. Saw Hunter Pence almost fall down in the box. His last swing.
I think it's extremely encouraging to see the numbers that Straley has this year, following up that outstanding season with the Reds last year. Because sometimes a pitcher will have a year and someone will say, it's a fluke, but it doesn't look to be any fluke at all.
Well, he's taken full advantage of Marlins Park, which I think we all assumed he was going to do, and his game would make, would start to get better that way. Through 17 starts, on base percentage 282. That would be a career best if he would carry that through the rest of the season. The slugging percentage against him 398, also a career best if he carries it through the second half. Ks per 9, walks, home runs allowed. All these things are career highs. He's doing a very, very good job of pitching to the ballparks. In fact, you understand why he's got good numbers in this ballpark. A lot of pop-ups, a lot of bad contact. Seen it already in the ball game tonight. Now look at some of these numbers. Opponent's batting average. This is the National League rank. He's top 10 batting average on balls in play. Look at that, 255. That speaks to the bad contact. Such a strong number. Hits per 9 inning, 7.11. Outstanding.
Posey guides it to that right side. Gordon around it and through it and gets the out. 3 up, 3 down. And Straley has retired 8 straight. Jeep. And by Chevy. Five nothing. Marlins on top. Beautiful San Francisco. Here's Justin Bour. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI hit. Corey Guerin with a fastball up. Now, this is a beautiful city, but it's a city that does not like its neighbors to the south. 6 hours to the south, to be exact. You were a Dodger for many years. How did they treat you here in San Francisco? What was it like being a Dodger in this city?
Well, I had fun with it. I mean, Giant fans and Dodger fans, and of course some things have happened since I was a Dodger that, you know, didn't go down particularly well. But I mean, there was a, you know, just a healthy respect or dislike, I guess I should say, and that both fan bases really just didn't like the other team's players. It's just how it went. I actually think more of it in terms of Candlestick Park than here, because that's where things used to get really rowdy.
Bour gets jammed, dumps it to left. Slater is there and makes the catch. Why was Candlestick much nastier than AT&T?
First of all, Tommy Lasorda was my manager early on in my career when we were there, so he would get them going. I mean, the Giant fans love Tommy, so I mean, it was he would go in there and just set them on fire. So that was entertaining. But what he was masterfully doing was drawing all this attention to himself, and again allowing us to go out there and play. Every time he would literally sit on the top step of the dugout, stand up there, and just be like, "Bring it on!" But bring it on me. Let my guys play, and that's kind of how it was, and it was entertaining to watch. A lot of times we would go in there and play some of our best games because Tommy was just sitting there taking all the heat from all the fans. Very good at that. But the park, cold and windy, and the fans, I was telling the boys today, the only place that I had a beer dumped on me was at Candlestick Park. You know, chasing a ball down in the gap, boosh, 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 out of the stands. There they come. That's the way it was.
Was it at least a premium beer?
I don't know.
A craft beer?
I was ducking. I was watching out. I was trying to get the ball and get it back in is what I was trying to do.
That was actually before the premium craft revolution, I think.
I think you're right. But it was healthy and it was entertaining, and it's just as healthy now.
0-2. Prado gets it just on the end of the bat.
I doubt there's been a failure to sell out on in either stadium over the years. Many times they play each other, both here in San Francisco. I know that the representation is strong. In Los Angeles, it is the same, regardless of records.
And I'm sure what really rubs Giant fans raw this year is the fact that the Dodgers are having such a great season while the Giants' fortunes have dipped so severely. Remember, the Giants won 87 games last year. Madison Bumgarner marched into Citi Field and shut out the Mets on 4 hits to win the wild card game. And as we talked about earlier, the Giants gave up 4 runs in the 9th inning in Game 4 to lose that division series to the Cubs. Slowly hit, Belt, shovels. Garrett is there. So the Giants had a pretty good year last year. They were a postseason team again. But they have fallen, certainly, with a tough first half.
Well, they had an incredible first half last year, and they slowed down a little bit in the second half. You're right about that. But I think that's what people are maybe starting to pick up on this team, was that they struggled in the second half, and did some of those struggles carry over into the season? Has this been a misread? Like, do people believe that this team's going to get it turned around and start to play good baseball again? Or did this team start to age in the second half last year?
I think the prevailing attitude was if the Giants could fix their bullpen, which had 30 blown saves. Mark Melancon was supposed to be that guy. Fastball, a strike. Former Marlins Sam Dyson right now is actually pitching well at the back end of the Giants bullpen.
That's right. And they're trying to get their bullpen figured out. Bullpen's been better for them of late.
Realmuto swings and misses, and a slider. Certainly a different look for Corey Guerin than Matt Moore.
Well, lot more sink, as we talked many times with Moore. Ball up in the zone, above the knees, at the thighs. Curveballs, cut fastball, his fastball, everything up. And just the opposite. Watch the short arm angle, the action down. It's his slider.
JT with his 2 hits has his average back over 300.
11 for his last 22. Yeah, that's 500, people.
That's a good road trip. With 2 more games after tonight for the end of the first half. Realmuto smokes one. Left center field and deep. Back goes Slater at the wall, and it's gone. JT Realmuto. 3 hits tonight, 8th home run. We showed you the 2 best catchers, OPS, in the National League are about to be in your picture. Posey and Realmuto.
And JT, what a trip. Hanging slider, great swing, level through the zone. I was talking to Frank Menachino before the ball game about JT Realmuto. So consistent this year. It's one of the few that you say, I don't know if he's 0 for 10 or 5 for 10 right now. The swing is the same. He doesn't get stressed out about bad at bats, just goes to the next one. He's in a hot stretch right now. 3rd hit of the ball game.
Well, certainly deserving of an all-star bid. Here's a 1-0. Riddle swings and misses. JT knocked in 2 in the first. Riddle bounced into a double play in the 3rd. Back to the screen. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. Mike Rubin, our critically acclaimed director. Ken Lee, our frequently decorated graphics coordinator. John Sulzer, our generally well-liked producer. John Chimchuk with us as well. Via text, Slater makes the catch. Marlins had a run. Realmuto goes out, and it's 6-0. And it doesn't stop once the All-Stars head out of town. The Dodger All-Stars, the Marlin All-Stars will hang in there for a weekend series at Marlins Park. Marlins.com/tickets. And of course, the Dodgers are just tearing it up. It seems like every late night when I check in on the Dodgers, they're down 2 or 3. It's the 8th inning, and you hang in there because you think, well, maybe they'll walk off again, and they do.
They do. Their best at bats seem to be late in the game.
I think Joe Davis just puts his walk-off call on a loop, and he heads out to the parking lot, and they just press play, and it happens over and over again. Bohr to the rail, and that's on the top of Miami's dugout. He says hi to Urania. Night sky is becoming darker here in San Francisco. Beautiful moon over San Francisco Bay. This is really one of the most gorgeous ballparks in all of baseball. And it's your first as a broadcaster.
It is, and the view from up here is incredible. Well, that's the view from where we are. My view used to be on the field, and you can't see over that right field wall.
Brandon Belt. And they count 1-2, or excuse me, 2-2. Straley with the fastball. Dan Straley tonight, with all the offensive support, has just been super.
He stayed aggressive in the zone. Of course, the Giants aggressive as well, pretty early in the count, regardless of the score. See 44 strikes, that's what you want, but all the pitches working. Slider, changeup.
So this is for you a much different view.
It is. Well, you get up over the right field wall, and when you're down on the field, you can't see over the right field wall, so you don't really see the bay. Beautiful, beautiful building. What a great facility. Hasn't changed a whole lot over the years, but Marlins definitely taking care of some business.
This is the 18th year of AT Park. Of course, Candlestick was home. They opened it here in 2000. To right, Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. This day in Marlins history is brought to you by Geico. Cookie Rojas leads the Marlins to a 7-4 win over the Phillies, serving as the interim manager after Rene Latchman was dismissed. John Bowles was named manager on July 11th. One of our favorite people, Cookie Rojas.
First thing I thought of when I walked into the ball ripped foul down the third base line was game 2, not game 1, game 2, the NLDS in 2003. And to come through San Francisco. We wrapped things up at home, Miami, but we needed a big win. Jason Schmidt, boy oh boy, he stuck it to us in game 1, and we needed a win. We knew we'd be in trouble if we didn't get that second game, and it was against Cindy Ponson. Came out and kind of made like the Marlins tonight. Jumped all over them, good at bats, all over the place, and got that series tied up and back to Miami.
I don't know how many times in the last week or so, and certainly in the next days leading into the All-Star game, we've seen that final play of that series, the Conine throw to get Snow at the plate. And by the way, when you wake up tomorrow, make sure you tune us in on Fox Sports Florida. We've got game 1 of the 2003 World Series at 9 a.m. In the air, Stanton is there, and he makes the catch.
Well, let me throw in one more nugget, because I don't know if everybody remembers it always the same way. And you think back to that division series and how important that game for you. You talked about the throw at home and the play at the plate with Pudge. Jason Schmidt was waiting to start game 5 in San Francisco had we not won that game. The significance of that play at the plate and in ending the series right there was, well, you do the math. Go back to what he did against us in game 1. Odds would have been stacked against us had we had to come back to San Francisco for a game 5.
And then it was on to Chicago.
Sure was.
Straley with a changeup. Crawford is behind in the count, 0-1. Brandon Crawford bounced out back in the second. 2 here. Remember the base hit by Belt in the second. It was a pop-up essentially. He tried to stretch it into 2 bases and was thrown out. And Straley has retired everybody since then. And he retires Crawford. A swing and a miss. Dan Straley has sent down 11 in a row. When we get back, we're headed to our Fox Sports studio. Realmuto, he's 3 for 3 with a home run, and the Marlins lead here in San Francisco 6-0. I know I went off the grid for that. Straley is up. This is his 3rd at bat. He's 0 for 2.
Nearly picked up another hit this season. His last time up. A little faster down the line, he might have got there. Off Matt Moore's glove to Brandon Crawford over at short. Got him by a step or 2.
Guerin took over for Moore, who went just 3 1/3 innings. Marlins 5 of their 6 runs against Matt Moore. The homer by Realmuto was against Guerin in the 5th. One and 2. Such an odd trip to end up in San Francisco. I mean, I'm sure those words were spoken in the summer of love, right? Odd trip in San Francisco.
50 years.
50 years. They're celebrating that. Big display at the team hotel here on the summer of love. They were playing Jefferson Starship music. Kickoff an evening of Major League Baseball tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox. Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates take on Anthony Rizzo and the Cubs, and then catch the Marlins and the Giants back here on Fox Sports Florida to finish your night. So Pirates and Cubs start at 7 Eastern, late night with the Fish, and that man will make his Major League debut. Chris O'Grady, whom we had a chance to visit with tonight. That's a foul ball. And O'Grady, really a testament to perseverance and belief in himself. Kind of rose up in the Angels organization, stalled, was released, and the Marlins gave him an opportunity. He slid into that rotation in New Orleans and has pitched well.
Yes, he has. He's earned this.
D. Gordon, just stop it. Down the right field line, around first. Gordon's not stopping, and he's in there with a double. How about D. Gordon on this road trip? He's got 3 more hits and 2 more runs scored tonight.
Feels like a bit of a script. Breaking ball down. Hits the breaking balls to right, the fastballs to left. Watch the timing, uses his hands. Takes the lower half out of it. Puts barrel to ball. Rips it into right. And that speed takes over as he rounds first. 3 hits.
Stanton takes a slider for a strike. Giancarlo, 2-run homer, fly ball to center, and then a double off the top of the wall in right field. We gave you that note that only 2 right-handed hitters had hit it out to right field since 2015. And Stanton has nearly done it twice tonight. And he cuts at a slider, and it's 0-2.
For as many times as Aaron faces Stanton this 3-game series, is probably what he is going to see an awful lot of, those sliders. Tough arm angle, bit deceptive, quick to the plate. He's already thrown 2. Make it 3.
Stanton chases and goes down, second out of the 6th. Before the first swing, make your picks for the T-Mobile Home Run Derby Bracket Challenge. And with a little luck, you and 3 friends may be going to the World Series this year thanks to T-Mobile. Make your picks at T-Mobile.com/bracket challenge. And we present the brackets. Stanton and Sanchez, Moustakas and Sano on one side of it. Judge and Bohr, Aaron Judge, Justin Bohr, Cody Bellinger, Charlie Blackmon on the other side of Monday night's Home Run Derby brackets. Yelich intentionally walked. Ozuna's up. Runners first and second. Yelich 2 for 3. Couple singles. Ozuna 0 for 3. He's the only Marlin regular without a hit. Here in outside corner and a strike. That one just off the plate. Vic Carapazza, by the way, who's a good home plate umpire, is behind home plate. Mark Rippinger at first. Tom Hallion, crew chief. We got a Tom Hallion game on Sunday. He'll be ripping those called strike threes. Phil Cuzzies at third base. One and 2.
Ozuna's so good. Runners in score position in 2 outs this year. Got some work to do with 2 strikes.
A swing and a miss. Ozuna goes down. Marlins lead 2, but lead this ball game on 13 hits. It's 6-0. The All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball Game in Miami. It's July 9th. Star-studded roster includes Jamie Foxx, Jenny Finch, Hall of Famers Pudge Rodriguez and Tim Raines. Visit allstargame.com for tickets. allstargame.com for tickets. That is the Bay Bridge. Very cool. A new section out there as well. And the lights that they've put up on the Bay Bridge, very cool. Connor Gillespie on deck. And you got Austin Slater taking a breaking ball up. And Dan Straley's been magnificent here tonight in San Francisco. Straley tonight, 5 innings, just 2 hits, and one of those was the pop-up. He's done it without the strikeout pitch. He's only punched out 1.
Well, he's done a great job of getting those pop-ups. We talked about the one that was the hit. That was the belt ball down the left field line. He was thrown out at second base, but he's done a great job. This is what he's done. He's been very vertical tonight. What times you've seen that slider off the outside corner to the right-handed hitters. He's factoring in that changeup against the lefties, but the elevated fastball is changing the eye level of the Giant hitters right now, and they're popping everything up. How many times we've seen Giancarlo Stanton and Christian Yelich making catches tonight in the outfield in the short outfield? We're not talking drives over their head. We're talking those right there.
Stanton wanders over and makes the catch. And of course, it's midnight back home, so it's late night with the fish. Glad you're with us tonight. I don't know if the Lurie sisters are still awake, but if you are, Renee and Marilyn, your brother Marty says hello. Marty Lurie, the pregame host for Giants Radio, Bay Area icon, and Miami native. So there you go. There's Stretch, Willie McCovey out on McCovey's Cove. That is, to me, the most unique place for a statue in all of baseball, right? We go to Pittsburgh and they have the great Stargell and Clemente statues around the ballpark. But McCovey's got his own body of water.
As he should.
Yeah.
The Cove. Well, I think the Giants do a really good job here in this area of building everything. You don't go to one spot of this ballpark and say, I have to see that. You say, I'm going to go to AT Park and I want to walk around. There are things to see everywhere, including that. And I think that's what they do better than some of the other parks. You know, some of you say, I want to go see this wall or I want to go see that monument. Here, you got to walk all the way around because there he is.
Yeah, you might run into Willie McCovey himself. High pop-up, Gillespie, and it's Gordon who ends up making the play on his knees. And the Wall of Fame for the Giants will include Barry Bonds as of tomorrow. There's a nice ceremony planned, and the former hitting coach of the Marlins will be honored with his plaque here in San Francisco. We'll have some of that for you on Marlins Live.
Special day for Barry Bonds, 7-time All-Star. Very popular here in San Francisco.
Denard Span now.
I think Span kind of sums up to tonight's ball game for the Giants. Long, lengthy at bat at the beginning of the ball game. Kind of robbed of a base hit by D. Gordon. One hopper to the right side. One pitch out his second time up. That's where long innings and the pitching sometimes will wear you down on defense. Concentration during the at-bat starts to wane. Starts to get away from you a little bit. Dan Straley just dealing right now.
All right, I've got a question for you. In terms of retiring hitters in a row, I've got 13, but I'm not counting Belt because he actually got a single and was thrown out trying to stretch it.
That's right. I mean, this park in Dan Straley's game.
Good combination.
Great combination.
Gordon will stay on his feet for this one. Makes the catch. That's 14 straight by Dan Straley. Going to the 7th, 6-0 Miami. Is brought to you by Jeep and by your South Florida Chevy dealers. San Francisco. I think Mrs. Doubtfire lived third house from the right.
That's right.
And I think Full House was in the middle.
Doubtfire, both those movies. Well, Full House, the show. Which one? The third one from the right?
It's a little pricey here in San Francisco.
Well, there's only, what, about 7 square miles of San Francisco, I believe? That sound right? Not a very big number.
Big city. Josh Osich, the lefty. And Justin Bour swings and misses. Bour opened his night with 2 hits, a run, an RBI. Flied out his last at bat. Well, the Marlins have been able to get into the Giants bullpen, and it happened quickly. 3 1/3 from Matt Moore. Guerin pitched 2 2/3. Of course, you're just not used to seeing that here in these parts. The dynamics of the Giants' success started and stopped with a dynamite starting rotation, whether it was Lincecum and his run of Cy Youngs, Matt Cain and his stoicism and low ERA, and of course Madison Bumgarner and his great postseasons. Even Ryan Vogelsong, guys like that would jump in and fit right in this, what was a dynamite rotation.
Well, dissecting Matt Moore's outing tonight, it's not very hard to do. You cannot survive that high in the zone unless you're blowing hitters away with 95+ mile-an-hour fastballs up near the top. In fact, Dan Straley's done a nice job of showing how to use the top of the strike zone with the fastball, even though he's at 90-91, because he's got great secondary pitches down in the zone. He's pitching vertically. For Matt Moore right now, he's high, and that's it. And that's been some of the issues. All four, well, the 4 big guys in the rotation right now, Zamarja and Cain, Matt Moore, and Cueto, all have given up double-digit home runs this year. 4 of them combined. 62 home runs.
And look, they pitch half of their games in this ballpark,
right,
and you're just not used to seeing those type of numbers. Prado has a hit. He's 1 for 3.
Well, it's compounded by the fact that offensively they're okay. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They're last Fewest in baseball, 72. And they're okay with runners in scoring position, but it doesn't, the two don't play off each other. If you're not pitching better, then you're going to have to score more runs. I mean, we've had these conversations with the Marlins, and that's their #1 issue, is that everything just doesn't line up right now.
Prado off the end of the bat, flips it back to the screen. I don't think anybody saw what was coming in Arizona. Colorado has come back, not down to earth, but a little bit back.
They've had a long, lengthy losing streak here lately, and they're a little bit different. But for the Giants, I think that this season is going to flip itself all the way back around, and that they're going to get back in this is almost unbelievable, really, when you think about it.
Prado, Huang, and a nice play. And there are 2 outs. Tuesday night, All-Star game, Marlins Park, and it's on Fox. 7:30 Eastern. That's when the coverage starts. Marlins Park will be all lit up, and all the All-Stars will be there. So join us on Fox, 7:30 on Tuesday. Here's JT Realmuto. What a night for him. Single homer.
He's probably not done yet. Obviously, he's got this at bat, and maybe even one more.
Count 0-2. Marlins have a bit of an ambitious travel schedule to get back to Miami with the afternoon game on Sunday. You got 3 guys participating in All-Star stuff with Stanton and Ozuna, and of course Bohr in the home run derby. Realmuto swings and misses. Josh Osich, a 1-2-3 7th. Your South Florida Honda dealers, Dan Straley Nice clean line there. No runs, 2 hits. He's retired 14 straight, and he works into the 7th inning here in San Francisco. Joe Panik, Hunter Pence, Buster Posey for the Giants. As Todd outlined, the Giants had a nice road trip. They've won 7 of their last 9. Panik over the mounds. JT Riddle snatches it up onto first in time. Back home, the Marlins, who split the 4-gamer in St. Louis, have a 6-0 lead here in Game 1.
They have a real opportunity to finish up the first half on a good note. Hopefully win themselves a road series. That has not happened in their last 10 tries. Go all the way back to April 21st, 23rd to San Diego.
Hunter Pence, center field. Back goes Yelich. Warning track. Wall makes the catch. That little corner out there, which is a long ways from home plate, was just enough to keep the ball in the yard.
Yeah, it frustrates a lot of hitters, and those are the 2 spots at AT Park that will drive hitters crazy.
Yelich
does a nice job getting himself to the wall. You see the right hand go up, that braces himself just in case he has to run to the wall, so he knows how much space he has and able to secure the catch. You see the frustration from Hunter Pence. Boy, this place will drive you crazy as a hitter.
Pence wasn't ready for the Bonefish Grill catch of the game. Great fish, great cocktails, and great times. Head to Bonefish Grill. Though not a great time for Hunter Pence.
Well, he's very frustrated.
Buster Posey swings and misses. While the Giants were winning on the road, Posey's bat was kind of still, which is odd because he's having such a great year. And he will be the starting catcher for the National League, the All-Star team.
Well, that's the right center field gap. I wanted to show that. 421 feet to the base of the wall in right center, and a little bit closer in left center where Pence hit that ball. But that's how this park plays. You see a lot of action. Pitchers say it all the time. Where do you want to pitch in this ballpark? Pitch to the big part of the field. Well, that's it.
Well, the park gives and it takes away.
Well, it takes away an awful lot.
It gives mostly to the pitching staff, takes from the hitters. Liner to right. Stanton has it. And you talk about that area in right center field, and it's 421. If you want to go back in All-Star history, when the Giants had the All-Star game here, a certain someone leading off for the American League popped one off the wall and never stopped running. That's right, Ichiro, an inside the park home run. All-Star game here in San Francisco.
Well, that would qualify as inside the park home run alley, not triple alley. You catch that little cove right there, and you saw the baseball redirect. Ichiro getting loose. Yeah, they call that triples alley here. It's basically, aren't too many parks where you see stand-up triples anymore, but if you watch enough home games here in San Francisco, you will see double-digit stand-up triples, guys that go long into that right center field gap.
Ichiro looks like he's just watched the highlight, yeah, and he's looking out there reminiscing, yeah, gazing lovingly at the alley out there. Brandon Belt, the hitter. Straley here with 2 outs in the 7th. Belt trying to bunt, and that's a strike.
Well, he got a gift hit back in the 2nd inning. Was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Fly ball to right as well. 3 hits for the Giants in this ballgame.
Got him. How about Dan Straley tonight? 7 shutout innings, just 3 hits, and a 6-0 lead. Studio, and Craig hasn't spilled anything yet.
How do you know?
Well, that's my sources. My sources tell me that everything is nil.
You looked at me like that was a bet, like I'm supposed to, and I'm thinking about it, like, oh yeah, I'm going to take the other side. There's no doubt.
You'll take the over, right?
Yes,
the
yes.
spillover.
That's correct. JT Riddle up,
and Dan
Straley.
Dan Straley on deck.
Good to see. It's not been a stressful ball game. His pitch count is in good shape.
Riddle fouls it back. All right. Speaking of taking, are you in on the Milwaukee Brewers, who trounced the Cubs yesterday, went to Yankee Stadium and blasted the Yankees tonight 9-4?
They're a good team. They're playing good baseball. What is going to happen to the Brewers once the second half starts and the attention gets legitimate is they're going to wake up one day as a team. They're going to say to themselves, yeah, we're pretty good. We're playing good baseball. Can we do it now that the spotlight is on us as the top team in the Central? Of course, that's where they're at in the standings. But now they're going to start taking themselves seriously. First, everybody starts to take notice, and then you say to yourself, okay, are we actually legitimate? And the question that you're going to have, how much veteran experience do you have on this young team to do this, to get this done, to beat the other teams in the division? You see the standings right there, 49-40. Remember, that's 89 games played. You still have a long way to go.
The one thing you got with Milwaukee, though, is the lowest payroll in the National League, and they don't have a lot of commitments out in the future. So they're poised, and they've got a good farm system. They're poised to make moves if they want to get
But that's the question. Will they do it, and will they kind of get away? I don't know where they're at as far as their timing is concerned in what they see as their future. I mean, most people in Chicago understood that the Cubs kind of beat the clock a little bit. People were thinking, well, maybe it's another year away, and all of a sudden they started to win in 2015. Well, the Brewers are doing very similarly. I personally believe they're going to go for it, and they should. Yes.
Riddle sprays that one in the hole. Crawford a dive from his knees. And a great play, but Riddle's got a hit, his second of the night.
So from Knievel on down, getting back to that Brewers conversation, they've got the bullpen, they've got some arms down there, they've got young players, and they've got power. You get Chase Anderson back, and he's healthy. Maybe a little tweak there in that rotation. Yeah, they're legit.
Crawford can really play. But I'll tell you, watching Riddle, and I'm not saying that he's at Crawford's level. Riddle's been impressive with the glove himself. Straley to the plate. Takes a fastball for a strike. Look how close Huang was, the third baseman, in that picture. And that's for Marlin pitchers and anybody bunting. If you get somebody that close, your job is to pull it back and try to poke the ball by him.
Dan Straley has proven he will do that. He actually did it against the Cubs earlier this year.
He did a little of both there.
Well, he tricked himself is what he did. He knows he did, right? That's what he's smiling about right now. He was anticipating the heavy crash. He was going to pull it back and do it. You see right there, one of the better guys at getting that sacrifice bunt down. But the crash didn't come. They held off. Let's see what Dan Straley does here with 2 strikes. Osich is not easy. Huge separation between his off-speed pitches and his fastball.
Huang comes charging in. Straley has squared. Takes outside. Look, I mean, that's aggressive at third base.
He's pretty confident that Dan Straley's not going to pull the bat back and pull 95.
Squares. And Osich, maybe a check on Straley to see if he was going to pull it back rather than trying to keep Riddle close. Bunts it. Posey out there. Crawford's turn out there. And that's the danger with a pitcher bunting.
Posey able to get out from behind home plate quick. Able to get the bunt down with 2 strikes, but not very far out in front of home plate. Buster Posey pounces. Strong throw to Crawford at second. Crawford gets that relay down to first base quick. Straley, the fastest guy in baseball. Let's stick to pitching. A couple outs here in the 8th. Gordon, what a night he's had.
3 more hits for Gordon, 2 more runs for Gordon. And the best ball he hit was probably an out, that liner down the left field line that Slater ran down. Up the middle, and he's going to beat that one too. That is he dropped the head of the bat, and even Gordon is smiling at that one.
Well, that's just how fast he is down the line. Throws his bat at it, panic, plays it deep, and then realizes he's got to be quick. Keep Gordon quicker.
Florida Jackpot brings you the batting average leaders, the National League team leaders. Marlins at 266, Nationals on top. So a 4-hit night for Gordon. Stanton has homered and doubled. Long run for Pence. And he settles under it and makes the catch. Osich, a scoreless 8. Miami's up 6-0. Francisco. Good contingent of Marlin folk here. Of course, the Marlin players from California always have great family representation. Huang now with Brandon Crawford, Austin Slater to follow. And this is the 8th inning for Dan Straley's start. Straley has just been terrific. Gave up a single to Buster Posey in the 7th, a double to Panic in the 1st, and that pop-up for a hit to Belt back in the 2nd.
Look at these splits. My goodness, 70 strikes.
And that's strike 3.
99. Quick work. Part of it is this Giants' aggressiveness early in the count, but it's certainly setting things up. So if you're wondering, Dan Straley, career high 113 pitches. Came on May 31st versus the Phillies.
It's a nice job of JT Realmuto. Didn't move his body, got the glove there, framed it, froze it, preserved the strike, as umpires will say. It counts 1-0 on Crawford, who was struck out and bounced out. And not a high strikeout night at all for Straley. He's got just 3.
But that's okay. The number of pop-ups has been outstanding. Outside of, well, I was just pulling that he would get to 100 strikeouts at the end of the first half, and I believe he's 3 away. He needed 6 tonight to get there. He's not going to get there tonight, but the job he's done is absolutely fantastic. Now, his career high in innings pitched is 8. He did that last year as a Cincinnati Red against the Brewers. This trip set up really well for Dan Straley. He's always pitched well against the Brewers.
Up the middle, he lets Riddle handle it, and he makes a nice throw. Bohr holds on. Straley thought about it with the bare hand and thought better of it and let it go.
Well, if Dan Straley can get a quick out here, he might just talk his way into pitching the 9th.
Couple pitches here.
I'm pulling for him. He does not have a CG in his career.
All-star break coming up.
Hey, and again, we talk about the number of pitches at 103, but let's remember this. This Marlins team jumped out early. They scored a boatload of runs in the 1st inning. There has been almost no stress in this game for Dan Straley other than executing pitches. So I think he's got a shot.
Bouncer, Riddle again to his left. JT loads up, throws him out, and Austin Slater 3/4 the way up the line. Something caught, and Slater stops, and he's in some pain.
That's not good.
Straley gets the out, with the Giants concerned about Slater. 6-0. A turn for the worse with Austin Slater. Watch Slater running up the line.
Yeah, he's going to Right groin. Oh. Well, for this young man, done such a nice job establishing himself. Really had become the answer out in left field. Since being called up in 28 games, is hitting near 300. Just hustling down the line. Probably would have picked up a base hit on this one. Unfortunately, that did not look good.
Another nice play by JT Riddle.
Right.
Ranging far to his left.
Trainer Dave Greshner helped get him off the field.
Giants deeper into their bullpen. Third reliever to work. Kyle Crick. And ladies and gentlemen, there's been a Gorkys Hernandez sighting, and he is in left field for the Giants. You Marlin fans, astute Marlin fans, remember that Gorkys Hernandez was a Marlin for a brief time. Always been a great defensive outfielder. Is trying to get his first full season in the big leagues. Been in the Giants outfield here as a reserve. There's a fastball for a strike to Christian Yelich. Marcell Ozuna, Justin Bour will follow. Yelich pulls one, belt way off the bag, and Crick is over there to get the out. Crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition. Official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the app. There's Big G in all his digital glory. The App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world is your favorite Derby All-Star. And our producer tries to figure that game out. Download the Home Run Derby for free today. Ozuna just missed a base hit. Now, we've seen that promo probably a week's worth of time, and I don't think John Sulcer has he made contact yet?
No.
Yeah, it's a little late. But you know what? He's got a few more days.
Gracious.
What was it you said, get started early?
Yeah, look at this. He's like an hour late. Give you the Auto Nation scouting report on that swing.
I know.
It's really short.
I know. Just go velocity, go velo.
And he needs to start about 2 seconds earlier. How about that?
Ozuna.
Wherever you think it's going to be, don't swing in the other spot.
Ozuna does not have a hit tonight, and that seems odd because the Marlins themselves have 16 of them.
Doesn't it sometimes seem appropriate? I'd say is this fair? First half MVP maybe of the Marlins?
Sure. The guy's bat into that, and it's going to be a foul ball, but it's up almost in. It bounces from the seats over.
On a night where everybody, you see that?
There it is. Now, isn't there supposed to be guys in kayaks and dogs with the rescue stuff?
Only on home runs.
They just leave that one to sink.
That's for the Sharks.
They're in San Jose.
Oh.
Here's a 1-2.
Well played.
And then Ozuna got a piece of that, and it's held by Posey.
Right, that Ozuna would have a night like this on a night where everybody else is doing something. I mean, it's just, it's the way it goes. He's been their hero enough times in the first half. He can take the night off.
Coors Light, cold hard fact. Fewest games versus lefty starters. The Marlins have had 16. They have a chance to go to 8-9. And I think when you write the story of the first half, the enormous breakthrough of this guy against lefties is part of it.
I don't think it's going to become a conversation. I mean, he was so hot in the first half against lefties to the point where, you know, you see how infrequently a lot of times you face lefties. So his numbers are going to remain strong every time we look at them, even if he has a 0 for 4 or a couple games where maybe he doesn't have his best effort against the left-hander. to where the argument still remains. He should be in there against lefties. He's still hitting .350 against them. He's still got good home run production, good RBIs. Yeah, that conversation's dead. It won't come back up again unless he goes through an extended stretch where he's just not hitting lefties.
I like the way when he did start to hit lefties, people started peppering him with questions. Hey, what's up with you hitting lefties? And he shut them down.
And that's, I totally agree with you. 100%. I thought that was the way to handle it. You know why? He wasn't surprised. He expected it.
Lifts that one in the air. And it's Panic who makes the catch. 6-0 Miami. Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. 16 hits for Miami in a 6-0 lead. The streets of San Francisco, Lombard Street. Dan Straley is on the mound and bidding for his first career complete game. First pitch liner. Stanton is there and he makes the catch. One pitch, one out.
Beautiful.
Good way to start the ninth for Straley.
Now that young man, I believe, was making his major league debut there. Well struck, but you know what? It actually serves Dan Straley's purposes much better. One pitch, one out. Now at 106 pitches.
That was Miguel Gomez, who didn't wait long enough for us to introduce him.
Well, he was following his teammates in that early at-bat aggressiveness.
Denard Span. Think about where Straley is now, and think about where he was the first hitter he faced, and that was this guy, Span. It took him 11 pitches to get Span out. And here he is.
2 outs away from a CG. I know this. Don Mattingly only cares about a CG for Dan Straley, not for the situation. If he feels like this is getting stressful, he's going to get him out of there. Top priority is to get this win tonight. Make sure Dan's ready to go in the second half.
Did you see that one professional complete game? And that was Fresno in 15. That's a great illustration of what happened to Dan Straley in his career. Remember, with Oakland, promising guy. Just wasn't happening for him in 2015. That's when he went to the driveline folks up in Seattle, the biomechanics, the shoulder strengthening, the breakout year last year with Cincinnati, and following it up with a really nice first half here.
I'm talking with Dan Straley on the way over to the game today. He was in a great spot mentally. He was ready to get after it. He was talking on this trip about wanting to go longer and deeper into games. Here at 8 1/3.
Can't go much longer or much deeper.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he set for his target on this trip.
And your point was a great one. No stressful innings, which is just as important in measuring a workload on a pitcher.
Right.
Modern day.
And that's good for the early runs set this ball game up.
What he doesn't need is Span to sit here and
do what he did his first time
and shovel 5 or 6 balls into the seats.
Well, I don't think Dan's actually playing for the strikeout here. He doesn't want to put a runner on base. Look for the elevated fastball. He's hoping that Span will pop it up with a fly ball. There you go.
That fly ball is hit deep and down the line and gone. Denard Span with a splashdown home run. The shutout is lost. And the bid for a complete game is lost. It's Straley with a smile. Don Mattingly on his way out.
Valiant effort for that CG. 8 1/3. Career high. That CG will come around. That opportunity will come again, hopefully for Dan. Great job tonight. Wow. We've seen multiple games this road trip where pitchers have not been able to hold the big lead. Dan did a fantastic job tonight.
That's a great call. There's no 5-inning start here. And out in the 9th, Florida Lottery called to the bullpen. He's had a great night, but he's going through that home run by Span. Straley knew that he had a short rope and a chance to go out there and get it, and he gave up the home run to Span. So Dustin McGowan comes in, tries to finish this game.
Well, season high 113 pitches. That's what he matched. 113 pitches tonight. Yeah, it had to be a clean 9th inning. As we kind of talked our way through that at bat against Span. We all knew he was going to go with that elevated fastball, including Denard Span.
Bouncer, fair ball. It's by Bohr. Bounces off the short wall. Stanton approaches. Panic has got himself a double. So the Giants showing signs of life here with 1 out in the 9th. You got Pence and then Posey coming up. Clean double. A.J. Ramos is up and starting to heat up. And McGowan's slider misses out. Pence fly ball outs. The 2 fly ball outs and 1 pop up on the infield. There's Ramos. And a lot of that against Straley. A lot of balls in the air early, and then a pretty good diet of ground balls JT Riddle's way. Riddle had a lot of plays to his left.
Fastball by McGowan. A pretty good run. Last time out did give up an earned run. Very effective of late. Marlins bullpen has been very effective on this road trip. Oh, by the way, 28 2/3 inning. Now that's a lot of work from this bullpen, but a 2.82 ERA on this trip.
McGowan off speed pitch. Riddle on the run in time to get Pence, and that holds Panic at second. And all that remains between the Marlins and this ball game is the starting catcher for the National League in the All-Star game, Buster Posey. Posey tonight. A couple ground ball outs D. Gordon's way. He singled to right in the 7th. Posey, all the things that he's accomplished in this game in a short time. Picked up his first Gold Glove last year. It's not easy in the National League to win a Gold Glove when you've got Yadier Molina and
now JT
Realmuto.
Some healthy competition.
McGowan loses Posey, and here comes Belt. Another sellout here tonight. There were some empty seats up in that upper deck, but a crowd announced at 41,510. And it's significant because it's the 528th consecutive sellout here in San Francisco. That's the all-time record for the National League. That broke the record set by the Phillies in their recent glory days. And it's the second longest in Major League history behind the Red Sox, who are at 794.
Juan Nieves out to talk to Mr. McGowan. Brandon Belt leads this Giants team in home runs. He's in the box. 16 homers, 43 RBIs on the season.
McGowan misses with a changeup. Belt single back in the 2nd. That was a pop-up, and it fell into left. Jam shot, and he was caught trying to go from 1st to 2nd. Martin Prado made a really nice throw. D. Gordon, a quick tag. And they're really, I mean, the panic double in the 1st, and it wasn't until Span's ball left the yard that the Giants even had a threat or an inkling of a run. Count 2-1. Only one other game still going in baseball. The Dodgers a 4-1 lead over the Royals. Bottom 8. Everything else is done. Second strike For McGowan, it's 2-2. And we invite you to join us tomorrow. Or, hey, you know what? Why not start your day at 9 in the morning with Game 1 of the 2003 World Series here on Fox Sports Florida. And then Marlins Live 9:30 at night. Chris O'Grady making his Major League debut for Miami. 2-2. In the dirt. Gets by Realmuto. And they count full at 3-2. Giant fans who have hung in there. This game has gone so quickly that the Birds, who usually show up here in the 8th inning and the 9th inning, aren't even here yet.
Wild pitch. Dustin McGowan might be one pitch away from turning this over to A.J. Ramos.
Got him! Struck him out. Ball game. And the Marlins beat the Giants 6-1. Fastball at the letters. Dan Straley was just terrific, and we'll visit with Dan in a moment. Giancarlo Stanton with a homer and a double. D. Gordon with 4 hits. A lot of heroes here. JT Realmuto a home run as well. Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep. And by your South Florida Honda dealers.
Get you some, Dan Straley.
Stick around. We'll visit with Dan Straley when we return to San Francisco.